Hey guys, just got done watching Tales from the Darkside Season 1, Episode 13, Anniversary Dinner, which aired on the 3rd of February 1985. So basically, the episode starts out with Elinor and Henry Colander talking about their big anniversary dinner. It's their 25th anniversary coming up, and they're going to have a lovely dinner. So the next day, they meet Mark and Sybil. Mark and Sybil are hiking and they're going to meet friends, and basically Henry gets aggravated by Mark and calls him a punk, and Mark basically walks off, and Eleanor says to Sybil, "You're welcome here any time." So I thought it was a bit weird for a 2-minute conversation, but so later on you see someone walking towards their door, and it turns out to be Sybil. And she walks in like she owns the place, basically. "Hey, I hope you don't mind, I came back." And you're sitting there going, yeah, because you should have not come back. But she goes back, and Eleanor's over the moon and says, basically, "You remind me of one of my daughters." And Sybil goes, "I didn't know you had any kids." And you're like, "You only spoke for 2 minutes. How would you know?" So basically, they tell her she can stay if she wants to for their anniversary dinner. Now, first of all, there's something a bit creepy about that, because why would you decide to stay at a complete stranger's house, and why would you accept it if they invite you, especially at their anniversary dinner? Because wouldn't they want it to be between them two? So she goes, "Yeah, because this is the type of place I've always wanted to stay. I left my parents 2 years ago. I ran away from home, and now I feel like I could be at home right here with you two." And you're like, "But you don't know them." So Henry's a little bit aggressive, like any man. He's very aggressive and very kind of, irritable. But Eleanor's very friendly to her and very kind of loving, and they decide to show her the playroom. Now there's knives on the walls, there's everything on the wall, and you've got this jacuzzi, like big massive jacuzzi looking thing. So they let her get in it, and she's like, "Oh, I absolutely love it. I love it here. This is amazing." So later on she gets out, she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad I was in there." She goes outside, talks to Henry and Eleanor, and Henry gets really aggressive about killing animals. If you don't kill them the right way, it ruins the meat. And that's a good hint right there of what he's thinking. So that creeps her out a little bit. So they tell her she can sleep in as much as she wants the next day because they need to get some ingredients for the dinner. So she gets up the next day, basically, and she decides to get in a hot tub. But she does get in a hot tub. She puts music on and all this, and Henry comes home with Eleanor and he gets angry, and then they give her some sherry to get in the tub with. And basically, Eleanor and Henry come in, and Eleanor starts frying her some vegetables and going, "Don't worry, dear, it won't spoil. I'll eat them as much as you like." And Sybil's laughing. She's like, "Hey," because she's a little bit drunk, and she's eating it. She goes, "This is the life." And there's a big wooden spoon. So spoiler alert. Sybil passes out. They pour wine into the water, and Henry says about how tasty it is. And then they go, "We need to share this with the children." They open the door, and there's skulls there. So overall, it's a cannibal episode. You don't see any real blood or anything like that, but I don't think you need to. I think it's just stay with strangers because you don't know them. And it just amazed me how easy Sybil was with it. She's supposed to be street smart because she ran away from home 2 years ago. Yet she's staying with two complete strangers. They were giving her food, giving her a drink, but could drug her, And I'm just sitting there going, "This is crazy. Why isn't she being careful?" Talk about not having street smarts. But then I realised she's probably just a sad, lonely girl who basically just needed some motherly father attention. And she got it all right. She got it in droves, and she gets eaten by him. Alice Ghostley and Mario Raccuzzo are fantastic as Mr. and Mrs. Colander. They look so vulnerable and so loving and so caring and lonely, like they miss their kids. And it's just great, especially Alice Ghostly as Elinor. It was a great episode. I can't fault it. It's in my top 3, I think, so far of the first season. I highly rate it. It's one of those episodes where, like I said, there's not blood in it, but it's one of those things where it's insinuated and you see it and you know what's going to happen next. You don't need to see blood. You don't need to see gore. You don't need to see any violence because it's the whole point of taking a stranger taking you in and helping you, or to your mind helping you, and then basically just doing it to basically eat you. So, never trust a stranger. Never stay somewhere you don't know by people that offer it to you. And the script was a bit predictable, to be honest, but I just went with it and I wasn't thinking about other movies or that, so I enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 because I really liked it. I thought everybody in it was acting perfectly. I thought it was amazing. The only person I didn't like in it was Mark, but he wasn't in it that long, so it didn't really matter. But the 3 main characters were fantastic, and I'm really starting to get this show going. I feel like the show's really getting going now. I've had 2 good episodes in a row, and I've been enjoying both of them. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Take care, and have a lovely, lovely day.